Morning, people. I thought I'd give a little testimony today and share something with you. I've been feeling vibrant, feeling great. So, towards the back end of 2024, I came out of a relationship and I was in a real bad way. Ended up homeless, nowhere to live. My current property that I'm in right now was tenanted out, so I had tenants in it, so I can't just move the tenants out. So I had nowhere to live. I was homeless. Minimal finances and so forth and whatnot, and struggling. I had a lump sum of cash that I could have used for whatever. I probably would have wasted it on my habits and whatever, as you do. But I didn't. Instead of spending that money on whatever, even spending it on, trying to find myself a new home at the time, which I didn't, I'll tell you what I did. So instead, I invested the money into a project, an app that I was building. I designed the app and had the mock example built at the time, and I needed finances and I was even going to seek investment to get it done. But I decided to spend the last lump sum of money I had on this app. The reason being is because I was spending it on the future. I wasn't spending it on myself and the current situation in the present. I was spending it on the future. The thought that came into my head is I do not want my kids to ever be in this situation, or their kids. So I will obviously now, bear this struggle right now for them. I'm investing in the future. I'm trying to build something that's going to bring, that generational wealth. So I invested it into the app. I got into a job. I used to work for myself for the past 10 years. I ended up getting a job, which I needed to, you got to work. And obviously on a low salary, I'll make things work. I moved to Yorkshire because, the cost of living is a lot cheaper and better value for money. So in order to make things work, I moved to Yorkshire. And it was nice, and also for the peace as well and for change. And that was great. I've continued to work on the app throughout 2025 in the background, as well as working and whatnot. In the beginning of summer, I had to leave Yorkshire as the landlord wanted to come back into his property. My notice had been up, so I had to leave. But coming back to Manchester, I had nowhere to go as the tenants were still in my property again. So I had to go back home to my mum's, sleeping in the box room I was in as a child. And it does something to you when that happens, because it makes you feel like a child again. And say for the last half of the year, 6 months, I fell into depression. People probably won't realise that because you see me on Instagram and on socials, jumping around and chatting a load. But I went through deep depression, and it got worse and worse as the year went on. I had struggles with family and so forth, and relationship breakdowns. I had deaths in the family, which affected me as well. But I still tried to remain strong for myself and for my children and the rest of the family. Eventually, I got tenants to left my property in the summer. When they left, the place was a wreck. It was destroyed. And it was literally like, I'm going to need to spend how much money to get the place sorted out so it's livable. Not even get it done nice, just so it's livable. They destroyed the place. I had one last lump sum of money that I've had for some years, my cryptocurrencies that I've had from 2020. I lost so much money on my cryptocurrencies. I've been hoping that, I'd recuperate my losses. So I've had this, a few K, about 3-4 grand, left in my wallet. That's been there. I ended up drawing it out. Had to, in order to do what I can to get this place livable. So I've got somewhere for me to live and my children. And during that time through the summer, when, my mum's house is there pretty packed out, she's not really got space for me to have the children and so forth. So again, it was an emotional and mental struggle for me to not have my children. It got to me a lot. So I was determined to sort my situation out. So eventually got into my home. Great. But then again, I'm in a situation where, your finances are limited and so forth and whatnot. Through the summer, I ended up getting my hands on a podcast studio. Started a podcast series. I had minimal help doing that. I had a dream and a vision to do that, and I've done that. And I've kept on with it. I've been producing a show myself, along with a friend. And, I suppose we're, 4 or 5 months into it now. Not even, from the summer, August, in it. So 4 months into it now. We've been grinding hard. That channel's now monetized now. So hopefully I can start earning from that as well, start receiving back. Great. Do you know what I mean? We're coming into 2025. This year I plan to launch my app. My app's amazing. It's going to help a lot of people. I'm always focused on helping people. My app's going to help people. I plan to launch it this year. Now, there's no way that I can go into a new headspace, into a new level altogether, up there, making millions and possibly billions, and being a founder of a, multi-million pound company with addictions like smoking weed and so forth, especially when weed holds you back. As active as I am, as people say I am, and I am, and as active as I believe I am, I could be a lot more active and focused if I were smoking weed. So I had to give up my addiction for New Year's, which I've done that. And it's great, I feel great. I've got a lot of clarity and so forth and whatnot. And now just being sat here doing all my plans for my launch this year and so forth. And it's feeling great. Also, last month, I ended up becoming, becoming a manager at Redbridge Studios, where my podcast studio is based and whatnot. So, things have been happening, and it's just been happening off the back of my work, my hard work and determination. So things are falling into place now. I'm feeling like, things are starting to fall into alignment. I'm back in church, I give thanks to God every day. I pray every day, every night. I try to go to church on most Sundays, but, my relationship with God remains strong all the time. And I give thanks all the time because, this is not down to me, it's down to Him. So I always give thanks. But the point I'm trying to make is that, no matter what goes on in your life, you just got to keep going. If you keep going, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I've been through so much darkness the past few years. I've lost so much. You just wouldn't believe me. Started in 2021, and it's just been a decline from there. I've lost so much. But this is the comeback, and it feels great. It's all a journey. Do you know what I mean? And it's a journey that, I suppose we could all be on together. Everybody's on their own path. But I'm just trying to inspire and encourage people that, no matter what you're going through, just keep going. Do you know what I mean? Because things can always turn around if you remain positive and strong. A lot of times I wanted to just, give up. The back end of last year, I fell into deep depression, as I mentioned. For the past 3-4 months of the last year, I wasn't going to the gym. I didn't go to the gym for 3 months. I stopped eating healthy. I stopped taking care of myself, and I smoked more weed than ever. Do you know what I mean? So, it's easy to fall into that depression, but, it's getting yourself out. But all I'm saying, people, is just, remain positive. You know what I mean? Remain positive, man, no matter what, and just keep focused, keep going. You've got it in you. You know what I mean? You've got it in you. And if you need help, always just pray to God and ask. He's there. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, this is just the comeback. It's a turnaround. I'm proud of myself for what I've done. I'm proud of myself for staying strong and resilient. You just don't understand how hard it's been. And I've been on my own, but I'm doing it. But this year, follow my journey, people. I told you I'm on a journey to change lives this year and create generational wealth. And again, it's not me chasing money and so far from not. I'm chasing a dream and trying to build something substantial. But keep your eyes peeled and follow the journey. I'm going to be launching the app this year. It's going to be amazing. I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing. But again, thank you all for tuning in anyway. You know what I mean? I'm peacing out. I've said too much here now. But yeah, people, get out there and live. You know what I mean? Don't let nothing hold you back.